Good afternoon, everybody. Does my silence feel awkward to you? Good afternoon. Did my silence feel awkward to you? What did it feel like? Some say yes, some say no. Some say surprising. Someone said different, not awkward. Today we are going to talk about one of the 4 life hacks that you can use or that you can live by. Can anyone guess what that life hack might be? Can anyone guess what the first life hack is that I'm going to be sharing with you today? Four talks in support of the launch for the next round of transformation at my online coaching school, Personal Power University. We start on January 14th. And if you feel like you are ready to take a bold step towards the things that you want in life, if you're ready to heal an emotional trauma or several, if you're ready to learn how to operate in a way that gives you more empowerment, personal power, that's what this school is about. If you think that I can help you to achieve more than what you currently have, that's going to align you with your highest good and more blessings, write yes in the comments. And then I will reach out to you in a private message to see if it's a good fit. I only take on a few people at a time because, as you all know, I'm very busy. I travel a lot, and I am very committed to giving you a certain quality of me because I'm very hands-on and I want you to get breakthrough. So this talk is in support of the launch of the next round of transformation that starts at my online coaching school, Personal Power University, on January 14th. There will be 3 more talks after this, and what I will be sharing with you is 4 life hacks to live by. Now I see the answers are starting to shift. How often do we want to fill up the space Who's afraid of silence? Today's life hack is stillness. How powerful and intriguing was it that I came in the way that I did for today's talk? It was unpredictable, right? You didn't know what to do. You didn't know what to make of it. You didn't know where I stood on anything. You couldn't pinpoint where my thoughts were. You couldn't turn me into a fool because I'm talking too much. You just were intrigued. How many of us are running from silence, stillness? And because of that, you're not in touch with your emotional state of being, why it's there. You're not in touch with the inner computer system that you already have, full of information, full of guidance, full of direction, heart space. You're not in touch because you're not still enough to get the messages. How powerful is it to witness someone who's comfortable being still? You can't read them sometimes. It depends. You can use it in different ways. Some people use it to manipulate people. Some people use it to be a great listener. They may not say much at all. The other person is doing all the talking, but because they are still enough to hear them, they feel like a great conversationalist. A lot of us dealing with depression, hurt, unresolved, anger issues. Where does it come from? And are you allowing yourself enough stillness to even look at the stuff to see what it is? Are you running from yourself? Because quite possibly your breakthrough is in stillness. Happy New Year, Greg. Happy New Year, Denise. Megan says, my devotions have been about that, being still and okay with the silence and the answers that can only come in that silence. Come on. So many of us are running from silence, that you wanted me to fill up the space with something. Why isn't she talking? Why aren't you doing something? Why am I not being stimulated? When in essence, that's probably what you need to step away from. Some of your most poignant experiences are going to come from stillness. Some of your greatest breakthroughs are going to come from stillness. Some of your greatest epiphanies and revelations are going to come from being still enough to receive them, not from listening to everybody and everything outside of ourselves. So, can you be comfortable in a state of not knowing? Can you be comfortable not having all the answers in a moment? That's something that stillness can produce. Like, you can go to stillness. Ooh, there's so many ways that we can use stillness, not just in a meditative state. Like, a lot of people think that in order to be still, you're meditating or, you know, you got to get in some lotus position, you know what I'm saying? Or no, stillness could be practicing presence. What is presence? Presence is not being concerned with the future or the past, just allowing yourself to experience the now. And imagine if you didn't think about the future or the past, how you could feel in the present moment. There would be nothing imposing on your present moment except for the stimuli you're getting in front of you. And if you didn't judge the stimuli, you would be in a neutralized, calm, possibly state of being. Stillness is powerful. Right? Peace be still. Tanisha says, question, should you allow your mate to do things alone? It hurts my feelings sometimes, but I'm starting to believe it's okay. Very good question. You know, there was this talk that I listened to. I don't remember who it was because I've heard a few people approach this from different perspectives, but it's pretty much the same answer. Being a great partner requires that we're great singles. You can still be single with a partner. Like a lot of the times I think we go into our relationships hoping that our partners will fix us, hoping that our partners will fill a void for us, hoping that our partners will bring us the joy that we haven't learned to generate within ourselves. And it's probably the worst way to approach partnership, because eventually we end up wearing each other out. We end up burning each other out. We burn out the connection because we're trying to make the connection of the person responsible for our happiness, and they never really can be. It's your walk. It's your personal walk. That's why they say bring your wholeness, bring your whole self to the relationship. Now you got two wholes just complementing each other, right? Let's see what you're saying. I can't. It bothers me to not know the answers. To not have a plan. I've always been that person. I love and need stimulation, but with my anxiety, I need the peace. Exactly. And probably being overstimulated is causing the anxiety, which is exactly why you would probably want to practice stillness. It's a practice. It's not something that we just all of a sudden wake up and learn to do. Because why? We're being overstimulated on a regular basis. You're used to always having something come in for you to judge, something come in for you to analyze, something come in for you to assess, something come in for you to like or dislike. It's all stimulation. Even if it's coming from a negative stimuli, it's something that makes you feel more alive. Anything that makes us feel more alive, we're probably going to want more of. But that doesn't mean that it's actually doing us good. The funnier thing is that we go to a lot of the people who operate in stillness for our answers. A lot of the people that you're looking to for the wisdom and the guidance operate in stillness to get it. Right. You're welcome, Tanisha. A lot of the people that we're chasing down for the answers operate in stillness. A lot of the people whose creativity you absolutely adore, where do they go? Someplace within themselves to create. They create the space for stillness. How many of us need a vacation from our vacations? How many of us are supposed to be going somewhere to relax? Hopefully going somewhere to be still so that you can actually get restored and recharged. But you put so many things on your to-do list, so many things in your plan, so many things on the calendar. You got to, you know, for whatever your reasons are, you got to look like you're having a good time on vacation. So we got to take pictures and videos. Who needs a vacation from their vacation? Right? Like, share the video if you think this can help someone, you guys. Today's life hack I am sharing in support of the next launch of transformation at my online coaching school, PPU, Personal Power University, January 14th. If you think you would be interested in taking a bold leap with me and your tribe, write yes in the comments and I will reach out and we will see if it's a good fit. Not only will you be getting me, but you'll also be getting the PPU family, which is absolutely amazing. And as we continue to grow and we all get these life hacks in us, imagine the support system that you can have, and we stay connected until. So if you think you're interested in joining my school, Personal Power University, my family, it's like family, write yes in the comments. How many people need a vacation from their vacation because they're constantly stimulating themselves? You're not even giving yourself a time to recharge, reset, restore. You don't even consider stillness a vacation. Woo. What if stillness needs to be your vacation? What if creating the space to let go of your electronic devices and just rest is exactly what your vacation needs to be? Yes, go out and get a couple things in, but do we need to have the whole list? Do we need to have the whole whatever you put on the menu for vacationing? Like, you're not even vacationing, are you? Like, what is going on, right? So many of us are running from stillness. And that's probably exactly where so many of your answers for life that you're looking for is. A lot of us are taking drugs to mask how we feel. You never go into yourself to say, well, where did it even come from? And I was watching this very powerful video. I probably need to post it on my page, by Dr. Daniel Amen. He happened to be one of the final four that I got the opportunity to be with for the John C. Maxwell Transformational Leadership Awards. And I finally watched his TED Talk today, and he talks about the brain. Powerful stuff, especially as it pertains to depression and dementia and people throwing drugs at symptoms but not really going into where the real root of the problem could be. Check that out just on the strength. This has nothing to do with this talk, but it makes me want to say something about it because they can be interconnected in learning more about ourselves, looking within, not just throwing things at the symptoms, looking within to find out the root of a cause, and then taking more acute action towards the healing of it. Sometimes drugs can get us from point A to point B. They can bridge the gap and then take us to the next space. But if we stay on it forever, are we really doing ourselves a service? Or are we taking ourselves further and further away from our personal power? Are you willing to go in and do the self-surgery, to look inside of yourself, to see where things come from? Why you feel the way you feel? Have you gotten so far away from even knowing who you are, knowing how you feel, where it came from? You've been running. You're so busy. Stillness is passing you by, and that's where your answers are, possibly. That's where your healing is, possibly, in stillness. Let's see what you guys are saying. Everybody's being still, huh? Okay, good. Pun intended. I'm literally giving myself the chance to be uncomfortably still in this moment with you guys, and not necessarily know exactly what I'm going to say next. But how powerful is it to just be present, not feel a need to have to say something all the time? And maybe because I'm taking these deliberate pauses, somebody might get a chance to say something that I wouldn't have given them the opportunity to say before. I might hear something way more poignantly, way more powerfully, way more succinctly, way more clearly, just because I'm deliberately pausing. I'm not like pouncing on everything. I'm giving space for something else to be instead of my voice. I'm giving space for another thought to bubble up that maybe would not have come to my surface if I didn't get still enough to allow it to kind of come up. Stillness can be so powerful. It's something that we can practice in different aspects of our life. Definitely in meditation. You guys hear me talk about that a lot. That's the way I like to start my day. Is it always easy? Absolutely not. Sometimes my brain, especially if I'm turning something over, I'm busy judging it. I'm busy living in the past. I'm busy obsessing about the future. It can make it very difficult to just be still in the present. But if you say, hey, you know what? Whoa, take your hands off the steering wheel. All right, we'll get to that. Even if, and maybe we won't get to that, right? Let me just not judge anything right now. Let me not make that good or bad. Let me take my labels off of everything. Let me take the labels off of the young man I just saw walking down the street. Let me take my labels off of the conversation I just had. Let me take my labels off of that family member. Let me just not make it good, bad, right or wrong, thuggy, angelic. Let me just take all the stuff off of it and just be present. Let me just stop judging right now. Let me just observe and be still. Can you imagine if we could get out of our way in that way, that we could probably get the insight that we're looking for, because we're not so busy filling up the space with our stuff from the past, from the present, obsessing about labels, all the stuff that we've been given that's programmed and conditioned our minds, programmed and conditioned us to see the world a certain way. If we could just pause on that, which I just gave you like some suggestions on how you can do it. Stop judging it. Stop making it right or wrong, good or bad. Stop labeling people based on what we've learned to label them to be in the past. You know, oh, that's a thug. Oh, that's an angel. Oh, that's a this, that's a that. Just take it all off in the moment for a second. And just observe. That is a way to not only practice presence, but stillness. Because then life can show up in a way that maybe you didn't anticipate, because you're not so busy filling up the space with old stuff, old conditioning, old programming. It gives you a chance to breathe even. When's the last time you like paused, did the uncomfortable, right? You paused and you took like a full breath and like a full inhale and a full exhale. It doesn't have to be dramatic, but just like the other person or thing doesn't even have to know you did it. When's the last time you did that in the middle of a conversation before you spoke? When's the last time you did that? You can use stillness to be proactive instead of reactive. Bless up, Damar. Megan says in the stillness that you can feel things move. Like when you stand on the beach, you feel the waves move more when you are still. When you're in the quiet, you hear God's thoughts. Come on, speak. God or thoughts more clearly. When you stand still, you feel the wind move. It wasn't until I was still that I felt my baby move for the first time. Bless up. It's so important to be still. So much good can come from stillness and quiet. Yes. Beautiful comment. Look, that was a label. I don't have to label that beautiful. It's just a comment. I got something from it. I decided to label it beautiful. Just to give you guys an example of labels. I don't have to judge that at all. I could just let it be a thing that I read. Now imagine if you applied that to your situations, you could access presence. You could access stillness like that. Take the labels off. Take the judgment off. Don't make it good or bad, beautiful or ugly, whatever. Just let it be a thing. It is what it is. Practice stillness. This is something we can practice. It's not some elusive thing that's like you got to stop and pause and be in a meditative position to take advantage of or to have it work in your life. This is a practical tool, practical life hack that you can use for your good. It's a great negotiating tool. How many people get intimidated by silence, stillness, just being present, watching, observing, not pouncing on an answer just yet, not having something to say. Incredible negotiating tool. By the time you get ready to possibly formulate the words to say something after stillness, somebody might have already said something else, and you're like, oh, I was going to say something else, but since you said that, cool. Right. Just from creating space for something else to possibly manifest. Just from creating space for you to possibly get a new thought to come in before you decide to say the next thing. Stillness is powerful. Because of your vacation, I see my vision so clear and wrote them down. It makes me so happy. Yes, pause. There's so much there, you guys. Imagine, we live in the information age. We are constantly being bombarded with thoughts from everything and everybody. We're constantly seeing things that can stimulate us. Imagine what your personal computer could do if you just gave it some time to let off those thoughts, to let those things that you've been taking in bubble up to the surface and come together in a unique way to give you an idea. Nancy says, how do you be still in the present without people thinking something is wrong with you because you're not typically quiet? Don't judge yourself. Back to non-judgment. Do the uncomfortable. Practice the uncomfortable. It's not easy. It's completely foreign for the most of us. But take the judgment off of yourself. I was saying take the judgment off of the thing you're observing. Now take the judgment off of you. Don't make it right or wrong or good or bad or awkward or weird. Just let it be a thing you're doing. It is what it is. I'm being silent. And at first they may judge you just like I got judged for being silent when we opened the conversation. It wasn't like a bad thing. It just was a thing. People were like, oh, that's weird. You're scaring me. It's awkward. It's this. It's that. Right? But it's just words. And eventually people totally came to understand and appreciate what I was doing. You got some interesting geniuses out there that are willing to push the creative envelope just like that, because if they were so concerned about everybody else, it would stunt their growth. It would stop them from producing the thing that we so enjoy right now, that they created because they were willing to be different in the moment. They were willing to be still and go create something. They were willing to be silent in front of someone who was totally intimidated by it. It's okay. Make it okay that they're intimidated by it. They'll get over it when they get more context, or maybe they won't. That's okay too. Maybe they won't. Right. How many of us have allowed our growth to be stunted because we're so concerned about what everybody else is thinking about what we're choosing to do in the moment? So, and we just learned another benefit of stillness. Practice stillness so that you can deal with learning how to be comfortable being uncomfortable. Whoop. These life hacks are here. It's just a matter of, do we work them? Do we use them? Can you imagine if you got comfortable being uncomfortable, what you could produce, who you could be? Wow. Okay, does anybody, wow, you guys are talking, I'm missing all of this good stuff. Does anybody want to say anything before I get out of here? This talk has been in connection with the launch of the next round of transformation at my online coaching school, Personal Power University. We start the journey on January 14th. What better way to get your 2020 started, get your next decade started, by pulling in tools like this that can change your life if you work them. Write yes in the comments if you're interested in seeing if we're a good fit. And we will be more than happy to welcome you to the PPU family. Jason says, topic of my next poem, and I think it's labeling. She's my peace, and because of her, I am still. It's a play on words, but I don't want to label. Go on ahead and write that. Did some philosophical deep diving, but as you can see, this is something that you can actually use in your everyday walk of life. The name of this series is 4 Life Hacks to Live By. This is the first one, Stillness. It's a really cool conversation for me today. So unless anybody has anything they want to share, I'm going to let us all marinate on that. Be still with it. And if you've just joined the conversation, be sure to watch the whole video. It's a pretty cool conversation today. Write yes in the comments if you're interested in seeing whether PPU would be a good fit for you. We start on January 14th. Let's get it. Okay, everybody. Happy Friday. All the best to you. I'll see you in a couple days to give you the second life hack. In the meantime, maybe go back and watch this and then work this principle in your life and see what kind of results you get. Bless up, Tiffany. Okay, everybody. Peace.